Welcome back to another episode in the depression area of body and somatic check ins, listening to our bodies. So important to listen to them because they tell us so much stuff that sometimes we're just unaware of or we don't listen to, so we miss it, or we've stuffed our feelings, and so we stuffed our body sensations too. We off because feeling emotions is difficult. It's hard. Uh, Strong emotions, especially, are really difficult, whether that's a negative emotion or even a positive emotion. Any emotion can be hard to feel at times, and we just need to learn how to walk through that and to feel the presence of it. And so, in this video, we're going to understand hopefully some energy tips that we have. So, we're writing the story around fatigue. Remember, last video we mentioned this one was going to be on fatigue and kind of what it is when it comes to depression. So, when depression takes hold, fatigue can feel like the biggest wall you face. It's not just tired, it's bone exhaustion, like your body is moving through wet cement, perhaps. And too often, fatigue gets mistaken for laziness, weakness, or a lack of willpower. But here's the truth: fatigue is not a flaw, it's just more information for us. Your body is telling you something it needs, your limit, and what's been weighing on you. Maybe mentally, physically, and emotionally, or all three of those ways. And today we're going to learn how to read fatigue as failure, but as another form of communication for us. So, where do we get started in understanding energy? Well, maybe with the many faces of fatigue. So, depression fatigue is more than physical tiredness. It can be physical, so you can have heavy limbs, low stamina, body aches. Emotional, you're feeling too drained to engage in conversation or decision making. Mental, trouble focusing, slow processing, maybe some fog. Sometimes it can be a mix of all three. Knowing which type you're experiencing help you respond and actually supports you. So here's a prompt for you. Today, when I feel fatigue, can I pause and ask which type is? Where do we go next in understanding our energy tips? Well, why fatigue shows up in depression? Well, your nervous system may be stuck in low energy state as a protective response. Emotional weight can feel like grief or guilt or ongoing stress, and that can drain your physical stamina. And poor sleep patterns, inconsistent eating, and low movement often make the cycle worse for us. So instead of pushing harder, your body is asking you to slow down, replenish, and reset. And I think some of us, we need to remember that there are seasons for things in our life, just like there are seasons for come and go. There are seasons for where we are too, depending on what's going on in our life. Has something traumatic happened to us? Have traumatic could be like a death, or it could be a divorce, or the loss of a job, even. So, are we appropriately cycling through some grief that we have? And are we just thinking that we have to push through all of this stuff because maybe we've never felt this depressed before in our lives? And so we're not really listening to our body when it's telling us to slow down and to process what's going on. So those are some things that can maybe help us to um, that our body is here to guide us. So here's a reframe for you. My fatigue is my body's way of asking for care, not proof that I'm failing. So where do we go from here now? Understanding energy depths. Well, we're going to respond to fatigue with care, right? Especially if we have a life event that's happened to us, then we understand that this could just be a season and we'll be over it. Not over it, I guess you could say, but we'll move past it. But we need to respond to it with care because maybe we've never had such a depressive episode in our life. But then at the same time, maybe we live with depression for such a long time for us. Maybe it's kind of like where we are at a normal level at times, and we need to figure out why. What can we do to move forward? And even if our depression has lasted for years or maybe a decade, we still need to respond with care and try to leave the frustration out of figuring out how we can move forward in a healthier way. So when you recognize fatigue as a signal, you can choose from a gentle menu of responses. So if it's physical, we could stretch, hydrate, rest our eyes, take a slow walk. If it's emotional, we can journal, talk to someone safe, use grounding, touch. Of course, perhaps seek out a therapist if you don't already have one. And if it's mental, do a brain dump. Break tasks down into micro steps and step away from screens, of course. So the goal isn't to snap out of it. Give your body what it's actually asking for so it can recover. And of course, that doesn't mean that we stop going to work or we stop going to school or living our day-to-day lives. Just maybe that in some areas we actually do slow down, and maybe we don't do certain things we used to do because we need to respond to our body and understand our body and allow it to speak to us, and then start processing whatever it is that we need to process. And so here is the end. So let's wrap it up and recap. Listening instead of fighting. So fatigue is a form of language. When you stop fighting it and start listening, you can respond with care instead of. In the next episode, we'll talk about where emotions live in our bodies and how noticing their physical sensations or presence can help you work with them instead of swallowed by them. It's like big emotions are a lot for us, and they can just feel a lot, and they can feel super heavy as well. So for now, just remember, your exhaustion, not proof of weakness, it's a message worth hearing. Here we are at the comment section. Comment on anything that you want from this video, any portion of your life you may need some advice or help with, or maybe you have some advice or help to give somebody because you've also struggled with depression as well, or any other heavy emotion that you want to comment about. And of course, if you're struggling with commenting, why don't you try this question? What is your fatigue trying to tell you right now? So if this video resonated with you today, take a breath before you go, let what you heard settle in, and you're not alone on this journey. And you never have to do it all at once. So if you're feeling like it, like this video so that more people can find it. Subscribe for new content every week, every day. So tiny steps, real talk, and honest healing. And of course, share it with someone who you think may need help with this subject on depression. And so here we are at my favorite spot, where if you lasted this long, you get to hear me talk about my journals. And these journals are just to go hand in hand with the videos to kind of whatever you need it. So while I have an anxiety one on self-love, self-discovery, discipline, theme journal with prompts on 12 areas of life. These are just to help you kind of move forward, start to recognize some things, really hopefully help live a healthier life. Children, I have a book on bravery, courage, and spark. They get to learn about these things. And then on the back, there's worksheets to go with it, of course, where you may need to help them fill it out. But that's really to help them understand courage, their own bravery, their own spark come from, and so that they really start to understand when we go through hard times, we have what we need on the side of us to help us move past it, right? To work through it. There'll be an children's book to come and some more. Thank you for listening to this video, and I hope you have a great day.